Well, Zach, obviously, we've heard Joe and Hars about it the last couple of days, but just the second half kind of struggles, and obviously you get to take a look at it. What's been different that you've noticed?
Yeah, last game it just seemed like we got a little tight, we got a little frustrated. We got to do a better job of understanding there's going to be highs and lows in the game. There's going to be times when our offense is going to struggle, and we got to keep that calm, cool, and collect attitude and go out there and attack it like we always do in practice. So it's just that mindset of hey, we know we can do this, and even if things aren't going exactly the way we talked about it at half or that we normally do, we're just going to get out there and go. So it's just got to be a little bit of a change in mindset and not let ourselves get tight.
Do you guys? Obviously the 4 quarters count, so you're not going to discredit the first half because obviously you played pretty well. But how do you kind of look at it? Do you guys see it as an issue, or it needs to be corrected, and look at the 3 games as a whole, or is it just a couple third downs you didn't get in that third quarter there that would have changed things, or do you see a generalized problem in these 3 games that needs to be fixed?
Well, I think in every game you're looking for ways to get better, and if you're not, then you're not doing your job. So we're looking at every angle. Hey, is there stuff we can do at halftime to better prep our guys? Is there some information that we need to get them? Is it a warming up issue? What is it? So we're looking at all the different options and changes we could possibly make. But really, I think it just comes down to execution. And I think early on, if we were to convert a third down and get some momentum going, that might have changed the whole outcome of the third quarter. It was a different feel to that third quarter with the onside kick and then being on the sideline a little bit. So trying to get that momentum back and trying to turn that a little bit was didn't go our way.
Is there a feel when you're on the sidelines for a long time, because Washington State with the pick 6, the offense didn't get out there very early? Is there a feel like in baseball you talk about, if you bat too long, sometimes the pitcher gets tired, gets cold. Is there a feel when you're on the sidelines?
Yeah, I think it's tough. It's always nice in games when you can get into a flow, get into a rhythm. You're on the field and you're going. Often when you're on the sidelines and waiting and you tend to get tight or start to overthink things, or you're not in the flow of the game. And we felt that in the third quarter.
Well, what have you seen from Brett the last couple of games? Obviously the first half was pretty good, but the second half I think passed for 18 yards or something. Just seemed like some of his throws were just a little long or a little off in that game. And that's 2 games in a row now where maybe he hasn't been as best as what fans are typically used to seeing. Where's Brett at for you right now?
Sure, and Brett's doing a great job of being analytical of himself and coming back on Sundays and watching film and going, hey, where can I get better? And hey, what was the feelings that were going through myself, or in his head? And so he's detailed in how he analyzes things and how he evaluates himself. I know there's definitely areas where he's excited to improve in and working on through this week. But I think we all kind of got into that a little bit. Hey, it's not going the right way. Got a little tight, and then things just started to snowball a little bit in the third quarter. But he's a mentally strong kid. Obviously, he's still young, so he's going to make some young mistakes at times. But overall, he's got a great grasp of our offense. And again, I think one or two throws or completions, early could have changed that whole third quarter.
Was it just me, or were a couple of his throws maybe a little more wider or off than usual?
Yeah, and we're going to be working on some things this week as far as throwing on the run. A few of those throws when he was scrambling or trying to extend a play, was high or off, and that was one of the things that he knew he wanted to improve on even through fall camp. So we're going to continue to work on that and get some movement throws. But there was that one play on third down, before half, where he scrambled up and then made that big throw, over the middle, and so there's some good things there to look at and go, hey, that's great. If we can continue to do that and put pressure on the defense a little bit with his legs, or make those backers start to commit a little bit, and then find open receivers and open windows. That was fun to see too.
When you go back and look at last year's Utah State game, what did they do that gave you the most trouble?
They really got in our wide receivers' faces, and there wasn't open guys. They played a style of defense where they were very hands-on with their DBs. Their safeties were coming down, especially on third down, and playing a really low two-man and trying to rob crossers and double the inside guys, which makes it tough. I mean, you're either going to hit big plays and you can get over the top of them or burn the outside guys, or they can be a little more physical and dominate too. So it's one or the other.
When you guys do fall into where you guys are out of rhythm like that, what can you guys do as coaches better to get the team back into a rhythm?
Yeah, we've been talking about that for sure. Whether it's going back to stuff we know and feel comfortable with, whether it's hey, is the game plan too intricate with things, or do we need to tweak certain things just to get into a better flow? Is it more tempo? Is it less tempo? Is it we're talking about all that stuff, and I think each game is different. Each defense is different, and so the answer may be one way for one game and maybe different for another game. So I know with Brett, I think he has felt really good about the game plans that we've gone in with, and there's been good execution, and there's been some stuff that we're looking at going, gosh, we should have done this or that.
This is your first season kind of watching or whatnot, but how impressed have you been with Jeremy? And he doesn't leave very many yards out there, it seems.
No, Jeremy's impressive. Yeah, he's a guy we want to keep getting the ball to, and had more carries this last week, which we saw as a big factor, in the game. Again, trying to get him the ball in different ways, but being able to catch it, and being able to motion him out, or whatever we're trying to do with him, just give him touches from the backfield. It's all good for our offense. The more times that he can touch the ball.
I know we talked about him being more physical and bigger this year and stuff like that. So to see him on that 70-yarder still have the ability just to run away from people.
Yeah. No, he's a great back. He's one of the better backs, or not the best back that I've been around. Just from a physical standpoint, from an all-around overall production standpoint, from hands. I mean, there's I was around Taiwan Jones, at Washington, or at Eastern Washington. He was obviously a specimen, 4.2 speed, and still playing with the Raiders, and that was fun watching him. But Jeremy has a more well-rounded overall game to him.
With as a new guy on the staff, when they mentioned Utah State, I know they don't always love looking back at that, but when you got here, how much was that talked about? I mean, do people
say that again as far as what?
Utah State, just the word, just that game.
Gotcha.
They don't love talking about it, but how much did they bring it up? When you were here and you guys kind of talked about it.
Well, early on, it was that game, and then obviously the Air Force game that were the ones that we were kind of pegging as, hey, we need to really evaluate this film, and here's going to be a big one this next, obviously going into this week, with Utah State, and I think everybody's excited for another round and another year, with those guys. It's nice having them at home. And there's that chip on everybody's shoulder, that this week of practice is going to be hard and physical, and they're excited to get out there and give it to Utah State. So.
Obviously, because of the D coordinator and stuff, you probably watched that film a lot last week too. So you probably feel like you know that game too well, I guess.
Yeah.
But how does it change for them? Obviously, they lost Fackrell and Vigil and a couple of their linebackers, and new D coordinator. I mean, how different is that defense now maybe from what we saw last year?
It's still a very good defense. They've got great personnel on all levels. They've got a really physical, athletic D line. Their backers are physical and come downhill and attack you. They've got a great secondary. 13 is a very good ball player, and their safeties will get after you too. I mean, we expect it to be a physical game. We expect them to try to get their hands on us like they did last year, and